So listen to this. Thierry Henry was not the strongest kid on the pitch. He was skinny, lanky, legs longer than most defenders could track. He didn't have the bulldozing strength of Drogba, didn't jump like Ronaldo, and wasn't one to throw himself into bone-crunching tackles. But Henry couldn't care less about any of that, because by the time Cristiano Ronaldo had won his first Ballon d'Or, Thierry Henry had already been a world champion, a European champion, a Premier League invincible, and the top scorer in the most challenging league in the world 4 seasons in a row. He's got a World Cup, a Euro, 2 Premier League titles, 2 La Liga trophies, a Champions League, and enough personal awards to make a museum curator cry. He has more assists than Zidane, more Premier League goals than any foreign player until very recently, and he's been the best player on more dream teams than some Ballon d'Or winners ever will. But somehow, if you go back and read some of the things people said about him, you'd think he was just some pace merchant.
And you guys were talking about criticism. It's not about criticism. We didn't play well against West Ham.
A highlight reel sprinter who only looked good on one team. They say he disappeared in big games, that he wasn't a true number 9, that he lacked grit. They forgot to mention he redefined what a forward even was. Long-legged, casual, effortless, like he was gliding, like it didn't matter. Thierry Henry didn't just beat you with brute force. He didn't beat you with work rate. Henry just beat you. Watching him, you'd get this thought, I could do that too. But you couldn't. You never could. Because while others fought the game, Henry read it. He played football like it was jazz, improvised, elegant, sharp when it needed to be, smooth when it didn't. And this skinny kid born in Les Hauts-de-France, with legs too long and a frame too slight, ended up becoming the most dangerous player the Premier League has arguably ever seen. Because for all the stats, for all the goals, what made Henry so terrifying wasn't what he did, it was how easy he made it look. When Monaco found him, he was still just a teenager, just some wiry kid playing on dusty pitches outside Paris. Not the best first touch, not a killer finisher. He wasn't even a striker at first, just a left winger with raw pace and questionable decision-making. But Arsene Wenger saw something, a rhythm, a hunger of movement that couldn't be taught. So he gave him minutes, put him in the first team, and even when Henry struggled to score, Wenger held his nerve. Because he knew. He knew that this kid wasn't just another sprinter with a ball. He was watching the birth of a predator. Then came Juventus, a move that should have been the making of him, but instead it almost broke him. They shoved him out wide, told him to hug the touchline and run. No freedom, no central role, just rigid systems. 16 appearances, 3 goals. Italy never saw what was coming. And they wouldn't, because Henry left just as fast as he arrived. But Wenger had never forgotten, so he brought him to Arsenal. And in one of the greatest moves in Premier League history, he turned the skinny winger into a striker, and everything changed. His first goal took 8 games, and people laughed. They said Wenger had wasted money, but Henry didn't care, because when the goals came, they came like a flood. 26 in his debut season, 32 the next. He wasn't just scoring, he was embarrassing defenders. He was gliding past legends, turning goalkeepers into statues, curling shots like he was painting. And he did it without ever needing to shout. No drama, no flexing, just him, the ball, and one long stride past you. He didn't need to be loud to be loud. You could just feel it in the stands. When he had the ball, it was like time slowed down. He made scoring look like walking. He made world-class defenders question their life choices. He made goalkeepers dive before he even touched the ball. He was inevitable. And just as Muller beat you without dribbling, without strength, without flair, Henry beat you with all of it. But he still didn't get the respect. The Premier League didn't have the Ballon d'Or clout back then. English press said he was missing in finals. They missed the fact that for 5 straight years, he was the most complete forward in football, period. He didn't just win titles, he owned them. The 2003-2004 Invincibles run, 30 goals, countless assists, the face of a team that didn't lose once. That season alone, he should have had the Ballon d'Or. Instead, he finished second. But again, Henry never needed validation. He let his football talk, like when he ran the length of the pitch against Spurs, or when he chipped Barthez with one flick, or when he backheeled a goal through 3 defenders. This wasn't flair, this was punishment, delivered beautifully. And on the world stage, he'd already made it. 1998, he was France's top scorer. At 21, won the World Cup in his own country. Then he added the Euros in 2000, then the Confederations Cup. He wasn't just good in one system, he made every system better. Even when he joined Barcelona at 30, they said he was finished, too old, past it. But within a season, he was scoring 26 goals, winning a treble, and helping Messi find his wings. And when they demolished Manchester United in 2009, guess who was there, running the channels, pulling defenders, making it all work behind the scenes? Henry. By the end, his numbers were filthy. Over 400 career goals, countless assists, dozens of trophies. And yet, somehow, he never got the Ballon d'Or. Never mind that he spent half of his prime out of the media spotlight in England. Never mind that he made the game look too easy to appreciate. Thierry Henry was elegance made lethal, a long-legged artist with a killer instinct. And if prime Cristiano Ronaldo made defenders quake with power and precision, Henry made them doubt themselves. And that might just be the deadliest weapon of them all. Cristiano Ronaldo was a machine, a sculpted weapon of pure chaos, headers like hammers, shots like missiles, sprints that shattered defensive lines. He didn't just want to beat you, he wanted to humiliate you, and he often did. But Thierry Henry was subtle, a glider. He didn't need a step over or a leap. He'd just drift wide, time the run, and curl it into the bottom corner before you realized what had happened. He didn't explode through the game, he flowed through it. Ronaldo made his name in a team built to feed him, Manchester United, then Real Madrid. They were machines with one purpose, fuel the man. But Henry, he was the machine. At Arsenal, he wasn't just a finisher, he was the playmaker, the creator, the assister, the dribbler, the heartbeat. Henry gave you 20-plus goals and 20 assists in a season in a physical, brutal, defensive-first Premier League. And he did it without diving, without screaming for penalties, without playing 60 games a year in all competitions padded by early-round stat fests. Cristiano Ronaldo is relentless, a freak of athletic willpower, a player who sharpened himself into a footballing god. But Henry was art, controlled, expressive, efficient. Ronaldo is the gym, Henry is the gallery. This isn't about who was better, that's tired. This is about remembering that greatness wears many forms. One burned bright with flexed abs and Champions League glory. The other glided quietly past four defenders, rolled it into the net, and jogged back like it was nothing. And the scary part? He made it look easier. So, next time you hear someone ranking the greatest forwards of all time and they forget to mention Henry, remind them of this: the long-legged kid who made football look like poetry, who won everything worth winning, who changed the game without ever needing to say a word. And if you felt even a flicker of that greatness reading this, do one thing: share this story. Remind people of the genius that wore number 14. Let the next generation know what real elegance looked like in motion. Because Thierry Henry wasn't just a player, he was a movement.
There was just no stopping him.
See you in the next video.